Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another VV and Ecomi video. In this one, I'm going to be giving you all some tips and advice on some of the collectibles that's coming from this Disney drop that I believe is going to be the most valuable. And I'm going to give you all my logic and reasoning. And this is part of my research that a lot of people already saw it in my private group. But I mean, that's down below in the description if you're interested. But yeah, it is a premium private group, and I do give information like this on the fly as soon as I discover something new. So you don't really have to wait until I put it together for a video. You just get it early. But there is a tip that I want to give you all if you use the Ethernet cord to your phone. So this one stopped working for the iPhone. This stopped working for the iPhone after one of their recent updates. So I had to stop using this one. But the one that I recommend down below in the description, it's this one. This one works perfectly fine still, and I definitely recommend getting this. So just want to update you all on that. If this one stopped working for you after the latest iPhone update, yeah, this one works perfectly fine. So yeah, just want to let you all know that. But yeah, before we jump into it, as always, be sure to drop a thumbs up on the video to help the video get shared through the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications so you stay updated with everything going on. Now, jumping into it, when we are going and looking at which collectibles is going to be the most valuable, I go and look at interest. I look at interest overall. Now, I know that we saw a lot of negative articles. Everybody was talking crazy about how, oh, Wally this, Wally that. But in terms of popularity, Wally is not very popular. So we're going to go on this list in the order of least popular to the most popular. And honestly, I think that you're going to be super surprised at which characters, like which ones is going to be the most popular. And some of this might shock you. So that being said, we're going to go from YouTube. YouTube is a platform that a lot of the younger generation is on and using constantly. And this is pretty active. It's a pretty active social media place. And you can gauge how much interest there is in something. So in 11 years, Wally has been able to get 21 million views. That's the best performing Wally video. And it has Woody and Buzz in it. So I don't even know if you can really count that. If you really want to go by it, like the Wally right here is a 15 million view one. It is Wally on the thumbnail. This is all about Wally, and it's from 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, 15 million views, that's not bad. Like 11 years to get 21 million views, kind of bad for a project at this scale. So 4 years, 15 million. But then again, this channel has 10 million subscribers. So you have to consider how many of these views was his subscribers, more so than people who actually cared about Wally. But then you go here and you see 12 years ago, 16K subscribers. You know that these are just people interested in Wally. So over a 12-year span, 13 million people, it's almost a million people a year that's been interested in Wally. That's what that would equal out to. So basically, Wally, in my opinion, would be the least popular, the least valuable one, in my opinion, based on this information. Obviously, there's other factors you can look at. You can look at other indicators like Google Trends and stuff like that. But we're strictly focusing on this one aspect. Next, the second least popular is The Simpsons. Now, everybody knows The Simpsons, but in terms of who is trying to consume Simpsons content, who's trying to look up things Simpsons, in 8 years, this has got 53 million views. That's pretty big. That's substantial. It's substantial in 8 years. Then you look at this one, in 8 years, 42 million. And look at the channel size as well. That's what's impressive about it, the channel size. So you can tell that the interest in The Simpsons is actually there. It's there. Because the channel size, it's not like it's a 10 million subscriber channel. These are smaller channels, and it has 50 and 40 million views. So then 6 years ago, as recently as 6 years ago, it pulled 39 million views. This one is a bigger channel, Adult Swim. Then you can go back 7 years, 34. And you just keep going. You can just keep going and seeing like, okay, this is pulling some decent views. So I think that this is the second least valuable, in my opinion. So I mean, I take this very, very seriously, because the prices tend to be moving in this way as well. The prices seem to be supporting this. So next we have Star Wars. Star Wars is actually next. And I know a lot of people might think that Star Wars is up in the list. So there's a few exceptions that you have to take into consideration as well. Obviously, you can't just jump on YouTube, see how many views something is getting, and say, okay, this is the fact. It's going to, no, that's not how it works. Star Wars is an exception because it has people willing already to spend a ton of money on collectibles. So when you already have an established collectors community, that changes things. So you always have to factor that in. So, but even without that, you can see the views has jumped substantially from The Simpsons. Like from these first two, you see the views have already jumped substantially. So yeah, 53 million, 200 to 274 million. Okay, 274 million in 6 years. This got 53 million in 8 years. In only 6 years, this video was able to get 274 million. This one right here, in only 3 years, has been able to get 166 million. This one right here, 5 years, 167, 14 years, 113 million. So as you can see, this is getting substantial views. It has substantial interest. So yeah, it's a really good, obviously, look at this, a year ago, just a year ago. So look, this one is 53 million in 8 years. In just 1 year, this was able to get 55 million. So this tells you, this is massive. This is massive, and there's still people looking for this to this day. There's still a bunch of people interested in this brand to this day. So obviously, if you're in the collector's world, you know how Star Wars fans are. Star Wars really collect. That's something that even I know without even being part of the collector's world. My mom collects Star Wars, so that's why I'm pretty educated on the fact that there's some interest in Star Wars. Next, we have the Avengers. Now, what's interesting about this is for the Avengers logo. This is what I looked at. I wanted to see how popular the Avengers as a whole was. I want to see how popular the Avengers was as a whole. Now, as you can see, 364 million. It's not a huge difference from Star Wars, but I feel like they are more relevant. They definitely are more relevant in this generation. Marvel has some Avengers movies coming out so frequently. The whole Thanos series was just fire. So yeah, it's a lot of big moments that's happened throughout these movies. So these are popular as up in the recent times. So 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. This is how long it took them to accumulate these views. 2 years, as recent as 2 years. And we already know the last movie that came out is probably going crazy right now too, as far as this trailer goes. So 2 years. Let's see, any recent ones on here, like super recent ones. Because yeah, I mean, it takes some time for trailers and stuff to go up. This stuff continues to get views over time, but how many views over time this stuff gets is very important, because if something has a crazy amount, like this, 364 million views in 3 years, people are still seeing this video. Like let me just show you all an example. So if you want to do this, oh, comments are turned off for this video. For a video of that size, let's go to a video of this size. Look into the comment section. Look at the most recent comment. 40 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, 7 hours ago, 13 hours ago. So this is how you can really tell if people are still interested or if they're old views. This video is 3 years old, but it's still getting views today. When you get to the point where you're getting over 100 million views, is people still watching it years later. So if you didn't know that about YouTube, yeah, there you go. Next, we have Disney. So as you can see, 364 million, 396 million. Now Disney right here, the Mickey Mouse, actually, Mickey Mouse in particular. Obviously, more people probably know Mickey Mouse than is watching Mickey Mouse content on YouTube, so you have to take that into consideration. But the thing is, if they're not consuming Mickey Mouse content at the same frequency as certain other brands, are they going to actually pursue Mickey Mouse collectibles? And the argument in case can be made that yes, this is a staple of Disney. These ears and stuff, this is synonymous with Disney. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. That's a legendary thing. So yeah, I mean, Mickey Mouse is probably going to be super valuable because it is like, that's like when you think Disney, you think Mickey Mouse. So that adds some value. But in terms of viewership and in terms of viewership, I mean, it's decent. It's one of the top. It's among the top. But it does get a little bit more popular than Mickey Mouse. So yeah, as you can see, among the top, right here, Mickey Mouse, and it's still, this is from 9 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, so you can see it's still going on. Like I told you all, when you're getting them 100,000 views, 195 million, let's see, 3 years ago, 186 million, this stuff is still getting views today. Like, look at this. This was posted 9 years ago, but because it has 156 million views, I'm sure that it's still getting views today. So let's go. Oh yeah, the child content. Child content, you can't look at the comments on certain children's content. Let's see if it still classifies as children content if it's in another language. Yeah. Okay, so they can check all that. So yeah, that being said, let's move on to the next one here. 396 million. As you can see, Iron Man. I wanted to check out where Iron Man placed on this list. So Iron Man is at 461 million. Now he's a hard one to gauge, and I might even put Mickey Mouse above Iron Man for the simple fact that the one place that we can find Iron Man, he's always surrounded by other characters. And he's surrounded by the Avengers. But to be fair, if you just search the Avengers, you don't get as many views as if you just search Iron Man. So that could say something as well. So yeah, I feel like Iron Man and Avengers is right around each other, even though there seems to be a little bit more interest in Iron Man than there is in just the Avengers overall. People love Iron Man. But to be fair, there's Spider-Man in there as well. And we already know Spider-Man is the most famous hero in the world. So yeah, that being said, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Captain America, like it's like a cheat code with them three names in the title. So yeah, I don't know if we count that. If we really want to go down to the next one, and then it's still Iron Man versus Team Captain America, it's still not Iron Man standing on his own name. So I would probably put Mickey Mouse before this one. I would probably put Mickey Mouse over this, simply because Mickey Mouse is getting these views and standing on his own name, as opposed to Iron Man is getting boosted by the Avengers. So yeah, we can't really judge him as good as we would be able to judge others. So yeah. Now, last but not least, the most popular by far, by a landslide, Frozen. Frozen, 2.6 billion. Not even close. Frozen is lapping every single thing that has been released. Every single one of them. Oh, I forgot to do Star Wars. We can run up Star Wars real quick so you can know how to do this yourself. I mean, not Star Wars. Toy Story. I'm tripping. I don't know how I got that confused so hard. Yeah, I actually forgot to do Toy Story. So Toy Story, where would Toy Story be ranked? And then we're gonna go by view count. This is the total view count. So 360. That would put it right under. Toy Story would be right under Mickey Mouse or Iron Man, whichever one you want to put in that position. So it would probably Toy Story. Excuse me, yo. Toy Story would be in between Avengers and Iron Man. It would be right there in the middle of that. Then I put Mickey Mouse ahead of all of those. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't really matter. Like, as you can see, the most popular and famous hero character by far is Elsa. Now, you saw when something got freaking 100 million views, people were still commenting. It was still getting views today. There was still interest today. What does it take for something to get billions of views? That means there's still a lot of interest today. So out of everything going on, out of everything, the most interest is still in Frozen. So yeah, let's take a look at it. And it may be a cheat code using her whole, like using the Frozen name, the Frozen brand. So I just went to her name too. I searched up her name by itself as well. As you can see, her name alone holds its own weight. So her name, Elsa by herself, you don't even have to put in the show's name. Elsa by herself gets more views than everybody on this list. Then Frozen, the show, gets more views than all the other stuff as well. So the most valuable, in my opinion, the one that I think I can see, I think Mickey Mouse will do well because of the collector's aspect, because it's synonymous with Disney. So I feel like the Mickey Mouse has a cheat code. Mickey Mouse is almost a cheat code. It's almost like you gotta put it at the top. It's like you got to. But the next closely after that, like, well, right behind that, the most valuable in this drop is more than likely the Frozen one. Hands down, because you got to think about it. What's going to be popular 10 years from now, 15 years from now? All the kids who's been watching this for the last 10 years are going to grow up. A lot of them are going to go on, be super successful, be looking for collectibles like this. And keep in mind, like the Star Wars fans and all this stuff, these people that they're getting older and older, are they on the internet looking for collectibles and things like this in metaverses? Do they care about that? No. I seriously don't think they will care about that as much as Frozen fans. I believe Frozen fans are really going to care about these Frozen collectibles, especially in the next 10, 15 years or whatever. So when it comes down to actually collecting, yeah, I feel like these are going to be super profitable. especially long term. Now that's obviously a long term hold, but honestly, it's been a while since this has been out. Let me see if there's any one where I can actually read the comments, because I want to see the most recent comments. It would be nice to see comments on a 1 billion viewed video, but we can't. So we got to find the next best thing. Maybe this one here, Demi Lovato. Yeah, we can see it here. So when we go here, you can see 16 minutes ago, 14 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 1 day ago, 1 day ago. Look at this. I missed this song. Can't believe it's been 9 years bringing me back to my childhood. Do you see this? That proves my point right there. This is so nostalgic. People are coming back, finding it, and getting in the emotional in their feelings. Wait till they see NFTs start to take over, and then they see a golden Elsa. It's just like, it's just one of those things that you have to have, and you see the impact that this has had on a generation. You see the impact that this has had. So, I mean, in my opinion, this is the clear winner outside of Mickey Mouse with the cheat code. This is clear. This is a clear winner. And honestly, depending on how driven, like, because some of these kids don't come up in a generation where they really care about Mickey Mouse or see Mickey Mouse like that at all. Like this Frozen for people is for a lot of people is how what they think of when they think of Disney. So 2.6 billion. I think that this is a clear winner. Obviously, all of this stuff is bangers, but this is just how I sort of gauge interest and see what people are looking for, how active certain communities are on the internet and things like that. So I feel like YouTube is a good gauge of that. And honestly, it's held true when it came down to the collectibles that's been dropped in this series. So this is just some information for you all. Hopefully you find it helpful. Hopefully you found it helpful. And yeah, you can use this to maybe help your investment decisions and things like that. Just use this research. I'm not a financial advisor, but this is the type of research that I do when I'm looking to figure out what's going to be a long-term hold. Like this one, like this was like, when you see this, if you get it, it's going to be this would have been an instant flip. I told everybody in my private group, this was an instant flip. You instantly flip that, and then you just buy it. If you want this in your collection, you just buy it back once it dips, because it's inevitably going to dip because no one cares about it. You see 20 million views. It started off as, okay, that's a decent amount. Then by the time you hit Frozen, that's horrible. So, I mean, this puts it in perspective a little bit better, I feel like. But yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. As always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated with everything going on. And yeah, I'm gonna catch you all in the next one, man. Peace out, Joe.